Welcome to the podcast. You're listening to Reasonable Takes with Bulldog and the Hammer, Nick Cobb. Do you like that?
I do. I like that
Okay.
old school radio in the morning.
Bulldog and the Hammer.
That probably was, that probably existed.
One of my friends did morning radio about 20 years ago, and his
For
name
how
is Tony
long?
Grasick. About 3-4 years, Baltimore
okay.
area, or Annapolis, I think. His name is Tony Grasick. They made him go by Tony Vega at one point. And what was the other? Oh, god damn it. The other one was arguably better. I can't remember what it was.
Really?
But
what did he say about it?
I mean, it was just weird. They make you change your name. He still does this thing like anytime someone makes like a corny joke that sounds like it's on the radio, he goes 98YZR.
So how did he like doing morning radio?
Oh, I mean, I don't think anyone likes waking up early, but I don't know. I haven't really talked to him about just the idea of doing radio. I think he liked it generally, but I don't know.
Man, every time I've ever had to do radio for shows, like I've hated it. I hate calling in. I hate doing that. But when I went in to do it, it was always fun. And I always thought, like, if I weren't a guest here, if I were a mainstay, if I knew these people had these inside jokes with them, like, it could be really fun. But it's probably not.
It's just the waking up early part sucks. I have a friend
get used to that?
who I wouldn't. I mean, it's like you can't do stand up in that. So that has to be part of your you just have to decide. Unless you just do stand up here and there, you know what I mean? You still do stand up, but you're doing it like, a few shows a month. I know, actually I have 3 friends who do radio now. 2 are morning and 1 is afternoon drive. And man, it's a lot.
It's a lot.
It's a lot. The morning people, their day starts at 3 a.m.
Oh God.
Yeah. Yeah, God. I can't remember if it's they leave for the studio at 3 or they get to the studio at 3.
So everybody wants the afternoon slot. Everybody.
No, you want the morning slot because that's the big money.
Okay, all right. That's what I thought at first, but then you said 3 a.m. I don't know.
Yeah, I know. Well, morning slot in big cities, you're getting paid.
You're rubbing them fingers together. How much? How much you thinking?
I'm sure afternoon drive you get paid well too, but morning drive you get paid. I mean, it's good money. The people I've known.
What if you're the person from 8 to 9 p.m.? What if you're that person?
Not a lot.
How are you doing?
You're not making a killing. You're not making a killing at night. Dude, well, actually, I don't know. It depends. I don't know. This is all speculation. I just know what some people I know who were in morning radio 20 years ago made.
Well, what did they make 20 years ago? Why not? It's 20 years ago.
Okay, somewhere in the 2 to 350 range, depending on their role.
Wow, man, that's nice, man.
Yeah, it's really nice to talk to people on the radio. It's great.
Yeah, just BS. I mean, you're basically just BSing, right? That's all. You're play a song here and there,
Yeah. And then just
I like
make
how
up
I said
a story.
BSing.
I was stuck in traffic just yesterday, and it never sounds real. The stories, which is why they never have an ending. It's just I was stuck in traffic just the other day, and I was thinking, this feels like a manic Monday. Anyway, here's Manic Monday by Cyndi Lauper. Take it away.
They just have to get to the commercial. I mean, they don't have to end.
That's all it is.
No one expects them to finish the story when they come back.
It's all about paying the bills, and we'll be right back after these messages from Notebooks. Notebooks. Need to write some down. Don't want to use your phone? Use a notebook. Nobody can hack a notebook. Back over to Bulldog and the Hammer.
God, I feel like garbage. The one thing that's making me feel better, we just found out that some people that we kind of know here, we don't know that many people here, but I mean, as you know, we don't know many people here, but we found out that these 2 people, they're getting a divorce, and we don't know them that well, but I mean, we know who they are. And I've been trying to convince Amy all day that she's the cause of it. We've only had a few conversations with these people, but I keep on coming up to her and be like, you have to admit that it's possible. I'm not saying it's likely, but it's possible that you waved he saw you and he beelined it back inside and ended his marriage. Like, it is possible. This is what I like to do with her. Just antagonize.
How many times has this happened in the past?
Have we said hi to them? Probably.
No, that Amy has ended someone's marriage by waving to someone.
I mean, who's to say? I mean, it could be 20. She doesn't. The thing is, she doesn't understand. She's sitting there saying, like, why? What would I be like? Are you saying that he would want to leave her for me? I'm like, no. I'm just saying, you're just doing something so off-putting that you've shaken their foundation.
So off-putting.
Yeah.
Speaking of off-putting, I'm going to tell you this right now, Nick. Your head is so close to the camera. Last week's, it was honestly, it was like I was a playing card and you were a fathead. You were so close on the promo clip. It was ridiculous. Now look at that. That's beautiful. Oh my God, that's gorgeous.
I was just trying to, be close to the microphone, and you give me shit either way. Whatever I do, you give me shit for it.
Set it up like an adult. I got my mic in front of the computer. Look at this.
Dude, there's no place in this house. I just tried to do it on my work computer. It didn't work.
Get a different house, Nick.
Can you see the do you use that rub-on stuff, like you rub on your neck or your chest or under your nose, like the Vapo Rub? Do you use that?
Oh, Vicks.
I've had Vapo Rub under my nose for 5 days. I feel like
I haven't used it in a long time,
trash.
But yeah, when you're stopped up, it really does help. But the beginning,
it does wonders.
Do you use that rub-on stuff? Like, what are you talking about? Lotion? I thought you were talking about lotion.
No, it's the cream. I don't know. It's not.
Yeah, you call it the rub-on stuff. You don't know Vicks? Everyone knows Vicks.
Yeah, I was just trying to, buy myself time to come up with the word, and I finally got Vapo Rub.
Cough candy?
And
it's cough drop.
You just want to call me out,
Nick.
I love it.
I
think it works fantastic.
Neither of our voices are fully there. I've had COVID, although I feel totally fine now. It's just the voice.
You look like shit. I don't know why you don't look fine. Your eyes.
I had to get up at 6 today, man. I was in doctor's offices it ended up being about 6.5, 7 hours today.
Dude, doctor the other day told me, if you had COVID, there's something I could do for you. I could get you better if you had COVID.
Right.
But with flu, I can't help you. Then 2 days later, I see somebody else, and they're like, oh, yeah, we can give you Tamiflu, no problem.
Yeah.
Like, man.
Oh, and you had the flu and you didn't get Tamiflu?
Correct. Not the first doctor did not give me Tamiflu. It wasn't until the second one.
Buddy.
Like, why do you have to work so hard?
I've had severe migraines since I was like 5 or 6. I get one about every month or two that it's like a really bad with auras and stuff. Never knew that there was prescription medication. The over-the-counter stuff doesn't work. Never knew there was prescription medication until a few months ago. And I'm like, how has no doctor told me this in the past? But let me tell you this. This is the real point.
Prescription medication for what?
Migraines.
Oh, right. They never told you?
No, I had no idea.
I don't know what doctors are doing. I told you like a week or so ago that I went to the podiatrist. He took an x-ray. Clearly he's freaked out by it. And so I asked him, like, well, okay, what do we do? And how bad is it? And he's like, no. I said, no. I was like, is anything broken? I asked, is anything broken? And he goes, yeah. I asked, is anything, because the way that he left he was looking at the x-ray, he had this horrible look on his face. So I asked if anything was broken in my foot, and he goes, your foot would be better off if it were broken. It would be better off. And so, but then he said nothing after that. And I'm like, well, what do we do? And he goes, just buy New Balance. That was his whole thing. That's it.
Yeah.
Your foot is so jacked that you'd be better off if it were like cut off. So just buy some Asics.
Or get Birkenstocks, man. Birkenstocks to me is like sneakers now that you don't know are Birkenstocks. That's what I went to the podiatrist today too, because the past couple months it's been excruciating to just stand. I haven't been able to walk in 2 months, and I thought I had a torn ligament or something. I got something called Morton's neuroma. Basically, this when I fell down the steps a couple months ago, messed up a nerve, and it's caused as it's healed. A lot of scar tissues cause it to swell up, and he said it should be about the size of dried spaghetti, but instead it's about the size of a pea.
That's so gross.
Yeah,
I
so
hate it when doctors compare anything to food. I can't handle it.
So he's basically saying it's trapped between the two ligaments. And so I got a steroid shot today. I get another one in a month, another one in 2 months, and that should do it. But he said also, he's like, I need to wear Birkenstocks because
Really?
he said that it has like a frontal arch support that takes the pressure off of those nerves. And the rigidity also keeps everything in place and stuff. So,
Wow.
So yeah, I mean, it's basically I just get these shots and I wear Birkenstocks and just stay off my feet, and it's going to take a couple months for it to feel better. He's like, if I didn't do the shots, it could take 6 months to a year.
I feel like ever since I've known you, you will occasionally just be like, "Hey man, you know my back's been broken for 9 months, right?" Like you don't say anything. You don't say anything for the entire stretch of whatever the condition is, and then at the very
I'm not
end,
you.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I did have a broken back at one point though.
Yeah, you just dropped something in there that you've had for a very long time.
Here's what I'm tired of is
I lost
medical
one of my testes 3 years ago, and just not telling me.
Ladies, didn't happen. I got an extra. I got 3. No, here's what I'm sick of is medical facilities charging people to park when you own the parking facility. I spent $30 on parking at Doctors today. Doesn't that sound ridiculous?
Sure.
They own the building. They own the parking garage.
Right.
And
then you're like, hey, do you validate? And they're like, man, those guys, they're ball busters out there. And I'm like, you mean your employees?
Yeah, you? You mean you? That's what. So my allergist, I got this thing. I'm doing this thing called cluster shots. So I had 5 allergy shots today, and over the course of 4 hours, that one charges by the hour. I paid $14 for that one. The podiatrist, I was there for an hour and a half. It's $16 any amount of time. Under 24 hours. 5 minutes is $16. Anything is $16. Infuriating. I was like, I'm switching doctors, but then my doctor was really good. So
yeah, now you're screwed. Yeah.
But as soon as this is done, I'm done with UCLA. Let's do power rankings. All right, Nick.
All right.
We're power ranking sicknesses that happen to people. What is the number 1 means it's the one you least want to get, okay? I'm going to list them off. Flu, COVID, cold, a 72-hour migraine, or strep throat. Those are your 5.
Worst is probably strep. I mean, it's kind of going to go in reverse order. Strep's probably the worst. The migraine, I don't know, but I'm going to assume it's, tied with strep.
Okay.
Flu, and I forget a couple of the other ones that you said. What else?
The other 2 are COVID and cold.
Oh, well, in that order, actually.
Yeah.
It's the exact order.
We have
Flu,
the only thing
COVID,
I flip is I put migraine over strep. And those are the 2 I've had so much all over my life. If it's 24-hour migraine, I'll take strep. But I had a 72-hour one back in November, and there were times where I would rather be dead.
Yeah, sure. Dude, I thought for a minute this was strep that I had because the back of my throat felt like a staircase. It felt like a washboard. It was just awful. By the way, I think that my daughter she loves to draw, but I think she only draws the handicapped. I'm almost positive. I drew something and then she drew something very similar, but in her drawing, and I'll kind of show it to you, but I'll describe it as well. You have a guy with, like a small face, and then, hang on, I'm trying to angle it. You see that? There's one arm coming down, and then the other arm.
Oh, I thought that was fart air.
No, that's the other arm. The other arm is coming out of the hip. Like if you ever saw The Thing. And so
right.
she was asking what I thought about it. I'm like, oh, do you want to draw a line there, like the armpit, so that you can tell that it's the arm going down and then out? And she just goes, she's like, no, he just has issues. So,
Yeah,
so that's just like
he has
she prefers
issues.
drawing the disabled.
Dude. So I can't use names here. Was working on a project for a company. I can't say the company, and it was for graphics, right? It was supposed to be this group of people. They sent it over to the company, and the company came back and were like, "This looks really good, but we needed to be more like ability diverse." And they're like, "It's like, what do you mean ability? This was like a few years ago when people were getting really carried away. You know what I mean? Where it was like you can't just be a representation of society. You got to go 3 steps farther." And it's like 6 or 7. What they ended up selling on, there's like 6 or 7 people in it. You had a wheelchair. Someone had a hook. One person had an eye patch, and then another person was missing a leg, just one leg out with like a not a peg leg, but like a metal beam into a shoe. 4 out of whatever it was, 6 or 7, severely disabled. This was not about war veterans or anything. It was just like, March is a great month for, things start turning green a little bit at the end. Almost all.
Come out and support your local fire department at the parade.
Just firefighters in wheelchairs. It was insane, man. It was insane. And we were in a time where you weren't allowed to say, "Don't you think this looks absurd?"
Right. Yeah. No, you can't. Well, I don't know that you can say that now.
Yeah.
Dude, my birthday was last Wednesday and got sick of
Happy
my birthday.
birthday.
Right? Thanks. Got sick of my birthday, but everybody's, texting you and WhatsApping you. And so I get this text being like, "Hey, I got, you were recommended by another comic who's really good. My name's yada yada. Do you want to open for me in the city? Not at a club, but just at a random place I've never heard of. It's like clearly like this guy rented it out. Who knows what it's going to be? But I'm intrigued and like I'm sick as a dog. So I'm just like, yeah, man, sure. And then I find out the next day the guy who recommended me Facebooks me and he's like, just a little heads up. This guy's girlfriend is a Nazi.
Oh, well then there you go.
And he shares with me a post of something she said about the halftime show. And it was
the Super Bowl halftime show?
She used the hard R.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
And so I had to go back and make up a reason like, oh, no, I can't do this. Because then I realized like, oh, I did recognize his name. He got asked to he couldn't finish his weekend of shows at a club here last year.
Jeez.
Because he started he actually got, I think he had to spend a night in jail for a hate crime. Like,
good Lord.
Can you imagine doing a set? And by all accounts, I think it went very well. Doing a set, feeling great,
wonderful,
and then going out and then committing a hate crime immediately after.
I mean, the idea of having anger after having a good set is so insane. After a good set, I either want to go to my hotel room and like read or eat cheesecake.
Yeah,
read or watch basketball and then read to go to sleep.
Yeah,
sorry, I put that in a weird order, but yeah, you want to eat cheesecake. You don't want to commit a hate crime. But right. It's funny. It's like, is this the one positive thing we're getting out of like comedy? Got to a point where people were like policing people's, accidental language, and it got to the point where finally the Nazis were like, "All right, I'm going to speak up."
I just love that that juxtaposition. I love it. Like, does great, kills, by all accounts, goes out, goes to a bar. Starts a fight with somebody who knows, but they called it a hate crime. That's just nuts.
Yeah, it's like American Psycho, but comedy.
Yeah,
where it's like how are you both of these people?
I mean, I can't imagine wanting to hang out after doing any set, even if it's a great one, But if I'm gonna hang out afterwards, I'd be in a great mood.
Yeah.
I certainly wouldn't be starting fights. It's nuts.
Yeah.
It's nuts to think
The
about.
worst case scenario after a show is you want to get out of that town.
Dude, I think I've had some sets that were so bad I moved. Like I just completely moved residences.
In what city?
Well, I mean, you could. All right, maybe I left a little early. How about that? Maybe I left a little early.
Okay.
Or moved out of some neighborhood, but not moved to city. Yeah. Okay. Thanks for ruining that. So look, my birthday was last week, and Amy's been asking me for like a month or so, what do you want? What do you want? And whoever asked me, you and I have had this conversation. If you're in your 40s, really, if you're in your late 20s, you just say, I don't want anything. You just say, thank you very much. Yeah. You want to take me out to dinner? Fine. But that's it. Please no. Right?
Yeah. I have 2 dinner gift cards here in my desk drawer here from my birthday that I got. They're awesome. That's all you need to get me for my birthday. If you need to get me something, but also no need to get me anything.
I can't.
Just give me a call.
My brother still hits me up. He'll hit me up like 6 weeks before his birthday being like, this is what I want. The portable inflator. This is exactly what I like. He sees something on a shelf.
So he can inflate an air mattress in a tent?
That's right.
Is that the idea?
And then, yes, he never has to worry about blowing something up. He'll
Isn't
see something
like
on a shelf
$20?
And be like, my birthday's in 2 months. This is what I want. And I'm like, hey, you're 51, right? You remember that? And yes, but he's the only one I know. Everyone else is like, please don't buy me anything, please. But Amy just like, but instead of not buying me anything, this is what she got me. She got me a memory pillow, a book of unusual facts,
something you'd love,
stretch yoga pants that look from afar like they're real, like corduroy pants. Very comfortable.
But they're skin tight?
No, they're not.
Oh, they're not. Okay, I was like,
but they're kind of a yoga pant fabric. I'll say that.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So memory.
So it's just super comfortable.
Very comfortable. Memory pillow, the yoga pants thing, the book of unusual facts, a miniature chainsaw. And
what does that mean?
It's one of those that if you like climbed up on a ladder, you would use to get the branches and the end of like, some of the branches on the tree, but not like the smaller ones.
Just a small chainsaw, not a miniature.
Yeah.
I was picturing like a keychain.
Yeah, a little baby chainsaw. No, but it is small. I mean, it's like the size of the computer. All that and a toaster that imprints Bob Ross's picture on every piece of toast that you make.
Wow.
So it's all this stuff that you're like, these are really fun gifts, but collectively they feel like middle age. Like this amount of like just kitsch stuff is all fun. And they just it feels like the same as looking at the picture of like a middle-aged man. Just all of those together.
Yeah. Hey,
like,
man,
doesn't that scream 47? Baby chainsaw.
It absolutely does.
Bob
it
Ross
absolutely
toaster.
does. But it's fine, Look, you got comfortable pants. You got a pillow, like a good pillow. You got, what was the other? There was something else that sounded like you. That book of facts. You like that. You like pooping.
Yeah.
It seems like you pull it out there. Plus, I sent you something that I figure you're probably getting a lot of use out of. Sent Nick a gallon of glue.
I did. I turned it straight back into the Amazon return, and I got $12 credit on Amazon. That's what I got. Yeah, I did. And then when they asked, why are you returning? I just said, it's glue. It's a huge gallon of Amazon glue.
Next time I was in Chicago, I was going to ask if I could see the glue.
I put it away like in the closet downstairs in the basement. And then I was like, wait, I think I can return this. Because there's this sheet of paper that's like a sticker or something that comes in the box. And
well, do you know why I sent it to you?
If you want to return it, we won't tell whoever got you the gift.
Do you know why I sent it to you?
Because I don't know. Because it's the last thing I would want.
Do you remember what you sent me for my birthday?
Did I get you like a stapler or something?
No. Jog your memory.
No, I don't know. I'm not going to know it. What did I get you?
2 pounds of root beer candy.
Oh, but that's a good gift.
I thought you were joking. I'm sorry.
You said that you liked root beer barrels, and
No,
so
you
I got
asked
them
me,
for
and
you.
I said when I was 5, I did.
I don't know. I thought that you said you liked them.
I'm
But
sorry.
I guess,
I don't know.
hey, it's
It
good
was
to know how you really felt about it.
It was such a non sequitur question that I thought you were messing with me. And then when they arrived at the door, I'm sorry. I was very thoughtful, and I'm
I
sorry
see, man.
when my long game finishes playing out. I'm sorry.
So so you thought I'm going to get him back. I'm going to get him a
Yeah,
gallon of glue
we're not even
that he
halfway
will
there. There's a
never.
long game happening with this root beer barrel thing. I thought it was a joke. I'm so sorry.
This will make you feel better. I got my hypothetical for you. I want to ask now.
Yeah.
Is that all right?
Yeah, okay.
Would
Let me
you-
ask. Let me ask this first. True or false? Every time Rachel goes out of town, I spend a lot of time watching World War II documentaries.
Yeah, probably true.
True.
Yeah.
Okay, go
They're
ahead.
fascinating, every single one of them.
It's the best. This
What
new
I'd like
Winston
to see
Churchill
more
one,
of
fantastic.
is World War I documentaries.
The Ken Burns one is great. I can also recommend some books on World War One.
I mean, that to me, I mean, 2 gets all this glamour, but 1 just seems like fucking horrific.
There's
Trench
one called
warfare.
There's
There's
not
nothing
about
after trench that's going to be good. Nothing.
It's
but then you put
this was
warfare
not
in
about
there.
the fighting, but a peace to end all peace. It's about more like strategic and historical. It's about how the Ottoman Empire was broken up after World War One.
Yeah.
Excellent book. Trench stuff, though. Let me tell you this about Winston Churchill that I did not know. I watched this documentary. So, in World War One, he was on like the what is it called? The War Council. And I don't remember how many people are on it. The War Cabinet is what it's called. It's, I don't know, 7 to 12 people or something. And so he had this plan for cutting the Ottoman Empire out of the war, right? Because they were sort of a big instigator and they attacked Russia. So he's like, we're going to go up the Dardanelles, which is that strait basically where Europe and Asia split, right? And he's like, we're going to go up there and we're going to cut off the Ottoman Empire there, cut them out of the war. But it was a sneak attack. Well, the War Cabinet wanted to think about it, and it took a few weeks to do it. It's no longer a sneak attack. The Ottomans suspect it, and it ends up being just bedlam. Both sides lose over 50,000. It's terrible. He gets trashed for this in the media, right? They were like, it was Churchill's plan. He was already a war hero before this, by the way. And they're like, Churchill's plan failed. Even though it wasn't really his plan, he goes, fine. I resign from the War Cabinet and I'm re-enlisting and I'm going on the front lines. He's in his 40s. He goes in the trenches, led, I can't remember how many, but several charges from like out of a trench to another one. And the fellow soldiers are saying, I never even saw him flinch, much less drop for cover. And Churchill said, yeah, because if you hear the bullet, it's already past you.
Yeah, I mean, that sounds
He's like 41
really
or
smart,
42, and he goes from the cabinet to front lines just to be like, oh, you think I don't take this seriously?
Meanwhile,
Crazy.
I worked from home for 3 hours and then had to get on my foam roller for 20 minutes. There is a difference between generations. Big one. Dude, World War One, like I mean, 1917 is just one of my favorite movies. Partially because it's World War One, partially because it's all filmed in one shot and blah, blah, blah. But it's under talked about. It's underappreciated. Kind of like Korea.
Yeah.
Here's my question that has nothing to do with it.
Let's hear it.
Would you be willing to lose the ability to ride a bike? You can no longer ride a bike and you can't learn to do it again. You're done on bikes. But you never have to change an internet password or any kind of security password again. Ever. What they are now is what they will be for the rest of your life.
And there's no security risk that comes with it.
No, you're good. You are good. You never have to change a password again. You can pick the robots will come in and they'll be like, pick one password. And it could be the letter A, and that's it. Forever.
I'm going to keep my ability to ride bikes. It's very tempting. I'm a bike guy. When I lived in New York, I biked everywhere. When I got out here, I tried to bike everywhere, but it's just not bikeable here. So I have my bike in my storage unit here. And as soon as I'm in a flat area where cars don't drive dangerously, I'm going to be a bike guy again.
But you're missing out. You'll never have to change a password, and you can tell people. You can dine out on this.
I use Apple's password manager. It does encrypted passwords for everything. I don't know any of my passwords. Apple does it for me. It's all encrypted.
You're such a buzzkill. I thought that was a great one. And then you come in, you're like, you just have
know a password when Apple does it for me.
Fine. Not everybody else is like you, okay?
It's a good question. I'm not saying it's a bad question. Hey, look, we got a letter to the editor again. I'm sorry.
Oh, God. I thought we were past this.
No, they still come in. I just usually don't read them. All right. So this one says, Dear Editor. And then below that it says, Dear Podcast, but mainly Nick, unless Nick reads it. Ryan should read it. It's about Nick, is what it says. I thought Nick finally got his... I'm sorry, I'm reading this for the first time. I thought Nick finally got his hard breathing thing under control until I heard the last episode, LOL. I don't even know what that means. I haven't noticed any hard breathing.
Now, man, I'm really self-conscious about it now. Have I, because you're always getting on to me like I'm not close enough to the microphone, but, I do breathe.
I'm just kidding you. You don't breathe loud. This is just some idiot sending us a letter.
Well, it hurts, man. This person should know that hurts, that I'm trying to live. Is this his way of trying to tell me something else that he's too afraid to say? But maybe not.
I don't know. And to be clear, my thing isn't necessarily about proximity to microphone. It's talking into it. Because you could be like this. I'm touching the microphone, but I'm facing away from it. That's
right. No one would ever do that.
Sometimes you do that. You talk over here. You see the difference between this and this?
Yes, I see the difference.
That's what you do sometimes. And I'm like, do this. Then everyone can hear you, Nick.
That is so annoying. So this guy, you clearly know him, thinks that I breathe too much into the microphone. Okay.
No, I don't know this person.
No? Okay. Does Rachel know him?
No.
Rachel's got it in for me, man.
But if you'd like to send a letter to the editor, email us at Cobb com. It's a very... You got any other subjects?
No, man, you blew through my hypothetical like it was a knife through butter.
God damn it. I thought it was good.
Yeah, then you just come up with your bullshit like, oh, wow, this technology that I don't even have to worry about what normal humans do. Okay, fine.
Okay.
Fine.
I'm going to ask ChatGPT for one. Give me a fun hypothetical question for a hilarious comedy podcast starring Bulldog and the Hammer. Let's see what ChatGPT says.
What does it say?
It says, all right, here's one for Bulldog and the Hammer. If you had to replace all your fingers with something else, anything, but you still had to live a normal life, what would you pick and why?
That's a great question.
And then it has suggestions. It says,
That's a great question.
It says, would Bulldog go with hot dogs for the convenience? How is that convenient?
No, because you can't put any power into it. You can't. Know. There's gonna be no grip. It's not.
Would
it's a poor
Hammer
choice.
insist on tiny actual hammers for maximum destruction? Let the chaos unfold.
Man, that's a good question. I'd probably just end up getting a bunch of sticks.
You do
You got nothing.
sticks?
Ever since the guy commented on my breathing, I'm just my energy's just down to 10%.
Nah, no
I
one really
needed a
said that.
boost emotionally because I feel like such shit. But this is what I get.
You
Yeah, I'd
do
probably get.
sticks?
No, I would. I'd get like. Does each finger have to be the same thing,
It
or can I
sounds
have like
like it because it says
a
with
fork, knife,
something
spoon,
else,
and then
not other things. Yeah.
laser, maybe lasers,
I mean, lasers.
maybe
So you're just
lasers in one
go.
hand
Yeah.
and flowers in the other. So if I'm mad, I could just rip people apart with a laser. If I'm happy, I'll give people
Like a
flowers.
destructive laser, not a laser pointer.
No, destructive.
I mean, that's pretty cool. I was gonna say, how would you eat? But now I'm like, oh, you just hold the laser up to someone and say, "You gonna feed me or what?"
But I could also give them flowers. I mean, the other hand is, I'm not just one thing. I've
Yeah,
also got flowers in my hand.
I'd probably
I'm
do some
constantly
sort of
giving those
fuzzy
away.
worm.
What?
Fuzzy worms.
Okay, fuzzy worms. That's what you
I
would
don't
do?
know. I don't know. What a crazy question. I do teeth. Just a
Oh,
long tooth for each of them.
oh, that's a good one.
One, yeah. I have 5
What?
long teeth with joints in them.
When I sent you that emoji earlier, I did not know it was a tooth. I thought it was a pair of saggy breasts
Yeah,
or udders from far away.
yeah. Before we started recording, I was like, ah, man, I'll be there in a few minutes or whatever. He sends me an emoji of a tooth. I thought he was saying, I'm growing long in the tooth because you're taking so long.
That's giving me way too
And
much
he says,
credit.
from far away, I thought they were breasts. So, how
Saggy
far
breast.
away was your phone as you were typing?
Oh,
Were you
like a
doing this
foot.
from
Yeah, a
you
foot.
didn't have
I,
your
I
readers
wanted
on?
it to. My mind made it become something I wanted it to be. I
Why would
wanted
Apple
it to
have
be.
that?
What?
Why would Apple have that as an emoji?
Again, I wanted it to be the case. And so I believed it until you had to put a question mark on my tooth. Just realizing that adulthood is just a whole lot of shit that you have to do all the time. It's just a lot of like for nothing. Like, what are we doing? Why are there so many
Yeah.
distractions? Like just meaningless bullshit, like resetting passwords.
Yeah,
Why?
man.
I
It's a
could
lot.
if I don't figure out that Apple thing that you have, that could very well be the last thing I do in my life is I'll reset a password and then die.
There you have it.
It'll be me deciding if I need to add a 1 or a 2 or a 3 or a 4 at the very end of the
Mm-hmm.
word. The same word I've been recycling for 6 years.
Yep. Although one of my friends, he's about 46. He just had a relationship in today. He called me. He was
Was
like,
it
I'm
Amy's
out.
fault?
Yeah, it was
Oh, he
Amy's
said
fault.
that?
He was like, I'm out. He was like,
Okay.
I'm not. He's like, I'm not. Never again. He was like, it's time to just hang out, just play video games, learn how to play guitar,
Was
and
this a marriage?
hang out. No, but I mean, he had a divorce a few years ago too.
So he'd been
He's
living
had
with somebody.
no, they weren't living together, but he's had a few relationships since the divorce. All of them ended in a disappointing way, and he's like, I'm done. I'm not gonna start dating again. I'm just gonna live my life.
That's not a bad idea, man. That's
I know,
a
man.
for
That's what
him.
you
I mean,
do.
if you're 46 and like you don't have kids, he doesn't have kids, right?
No, he has one with
He
his
has one.
ex-wife. Yeah.
I mean, even better. Like, why would you even bother? Like, what do you get
Just
out of
hang out.
dating?
Just hang out.
Just hang out.
I mean, dude.
Start taking jujitsu. Start maybe painting or something. Just hang out.
Just hang out. Go wherever you want. Do whatever you want because it's going to cost half as much as it did before.
Right.
Just hang out. That's anyone who
Become like
finds yourself in that
a halfway
situation.
decent cook and then save even more money.
Yeah.
How little do you think you could live off of if it were just you? No dog, no nothing.
I
I've
mean,
thought
in
about this a
LA,
million times had I never left New York and had I just like bought some studio in Queens or something. Like I do not
and
need much of anything to
yeah,
exist. I don't need shit.
yeah, in LA it would cost more than other places just because of rent and stuff like that. But I mean, I will say Rachel was just out of town for 10 days. And when she got back in that first like 36 hours, I had already spent more money than I had in 10 days.
Sure. I mean,
Yeah.
what did you do? How'd you spend those 10 days?
There was not, I watched a Churchill documentary. I watched Conclave, read my book. I'm almost finished now. It's very long.
And you
No
did it in
thrust.
Birkenstocks. So basically you didn't do shit.
I
You
can't
just
because I
you
can't walk. I play drums a lot.
but you just existed. You just kind of
Yeah,
were
yeah.
there.
I didn't really go anywhere because I can't walk. So I was just at home, played drums. I read. I watched some things. Hung out with my dog. Obviously, I cooked my meals. Except twice I ordered food. I think I've only
Yeah.
ordered aside from college when you order a lot of pizza to go, or like delivery. I think I've ordered food to be delivered fewer than 20 times in my life.
Oh, if it's just me? Oh my God. So few times.
Yeah,
So
I
few
did
times.
twice this time because I had COVID.
I think we'd be shocked at how little we could own and be totally fine and not think of it. You could box up
Mm-hmm.
90% of the stuff in my house, and within a
Yeah,
week, I wouldn't even think about it again.
I I was thinking today actually when I was driving home. I was like, man, I have some art stuff and some like old books. I was like, man, I could sell them and get a lot of money, and then I just have that money, and that would just be sitting there, and then that like grows because I don't need them. You know what I mean? It's all things that I don't need them.
Do I know what you mean? There's a Star Wars digital pinball machine over here that you do not see. Uh, um, and today I told Amy, I'm like, I'm selling it. We don't
Yeah,
play it. I'm not. I'm not keeping it so that occasionally a guest comes over and is like, "Hey, cool," and plays it for 10 seconds.
yeah,
I'm gonna sell it, and then we'll just have more money, cash, just to sit
yeah,
there, like in case something happens. Like
yeah,
I've always been a minimalist. Like when I was a kid, I used to have garage sales by myself
yeah.
just to sell my toys. My parents would be like, "Yeah, we'll
Really,
take you to buy." Yeah, my parents would be like, "Oh, we'll take you to buy something like some new toy,
man.
but it's got to be your money, so you can either do chores or you can sell something that you have."
Did you sell any toys you wish you still had? Because
No, I
okay,
never regretted it once.
I
My
had all
only
these
regret is
original.
that I sent $1 and the barcode to a cereal box to GI Joe headquarters for Captain Slaughter. Was that his Sergeant Slaughter?
Sergeant Slaughter. Yeah, I had that one. I have
And
that
they
one.
never sent it to me. They stole my dollar and my stamp money.
That's a valuable one too. The one you had a mail order. I was a GI Joe kid too. I had a bunch of original ones. Right.
Of
My
course.
biggest regret of childhood was when I was in first grade. So I'm 5. I traded with a fifth grader, the same kid. If you've heard my story about the kid bullying me, like pouring makeup on my head, same kid.
What?
Um, yeah, fifth grader bullying a fifth grader, one asshole. My brother beat him up.
He did?
But yeah, he
Your brother beat him up? How old is your
busted his
brother?
nose open on the bus, just blood everywhere. I talked about
What?
it on stage. I told the story of my brother's wedding speech or wedding toast for some reason.
So wait.
Yeah,
How old? What grade was your brother in when he beat up the fifth grader?
here's the course of events. Okay, so this is the same. This is all within like a month, right? So we get off the bus at our babysitter's house, and I have it's the original helicopter that Duke and Wild Bill came in, or maybe it was just one of them. But I had the original Duke and the original Wild Bill in their helicopter. Now it's worth thousands of dollars now, right? This fifth grader came up, made me trade him for these Mask binoculars. There's a cartoon called Mask. There were 8 episodes or 12 episodes.
Oh,
and they have
I know
binoculars.
Mask.
You remember Mask?
Yes.
I traded those binoculars, which you can't even see through, for thousands of dollars. Even at the time, it was worth hundreds, right? It seemed like no more than a couple weeks later, we were on the bus, and I'm in first, Brent's in fourth, fifth grader. He's behind us, and he starts to pour this liquid makeup on my head. Like, I don't know if it's like concealer or whatever. I'm not sure, but it's like a liquid kind of tan thing. He starts pouring on my head, but right before it hits my head, Brent sees it because he's like turned sideways in his seat, punches him right in the nose.
What?
And yeah, it's like Brent was one of those brothers. It was almost like a dictator, where he's like, he has a strong arm against me. You know what I mean? But if anyone messes with his citizens, he's coming after you. So when he
wait, just to shed some light. I mean, if those who haven't followed the podcast or know you have a huge family. So I'm not joking.
This is my biological brother.
A white brother, a black brother, an Asian brother?
White brother, biological brother. This is at this time it was just 2 of us plus my 2 stepbrothers. My mom and stepdad weren't married at the time, yet, but they were dating. So my brothers Alan and Brent were, at the time, they're like, my mom's boyfriend's kids. They're not technically our brothers, even though I've known them since I'm 2, and they're part of our lives since I'm 2.
Right. You still close?
Oh, of course, yeah. I talked to Alan probably more than any of my brothers. So anyway, Brent sees this makeup's about to go on my head, punches him in the nose, dude. Fountain of blood. Because Brent was one of those kids who grew early. So when he was in 6th grade, he was 6 feet tall, and he's still 6 feet tall. And I don't know if I don't remember how tall he was in 4th grade, but he was big. Blood goes everywhere. Brent takes whatever that makeup was and pours it all over the bloody nose.
Awesome.
So he had it all on his face, and he's like going, ah! So I had this image of turning around, because when he punched him, I didn't understand what was happening.
Sure.
I didn't realize he was pouring it on me because I wasn't paying attention. And this guy's going, ah! And there's blood and makeup coming through his fingers.
That's awesome.
And yeah, Brent got suspended from the bus for like a week, and I think the other kid did too. I was able to continue.
Did he ever trouble you again?
Yeah, I had another one where.
Wait, did that same dude trouble you again after that?
Oh no, absolutely not. Brent shut down at least 5 people who were bullied me.
Really?
Where he just, yeah. He wasn't playing that. Yeah. And then
That's
later,
awesome. My brother didn't do that at all.
Yeah, he was. I mean, my other brothers would have too if our ages. Well, I guess it made more like if they knew. But yeah, when I was a kid, yeah, Brent put the kibosh on several kids who were like bullied me.
That's badass.
Yeah. My stepdad did too once, where he just walked me to the bus stop. It's not like, I mean, he's an adult. He's not going to do anything, but he's 6'4", and another kid's like, whoa, a kid might actually think a dad's going to beat him up.
Oh yeah. It's the whole thing that parents do now, where they tell like whatever the bully is at the playground, like, I'll call the cops on you. I've never done that, but that's apparently common. Or people say it's common. I've never seen it done either.
Yeah.
I've had to intervene 1,000 times on different things, which always makes me.
What do you mean?
Just just shit happening with
your
kids.
kids. You're talking about?
Yeah,
with your kids.
Yeah. I guess I'd probably intervened on behalf of like other, maybe, but sure.
Have I ever told you this? I paid my brother back, or whatever the phrase is, as adults, when a cop took a swing at him, and I tackled the cop.
No. Stop it. You did not.
There's more to the story, though.
You did not.
Neither of us knew he was a cop at the time. It's a soccer game. We're playing. We're on the same soccer team. Me and 2 of my brothers and my friend Rory, and I don't think anyone else you'd know. But
all right.
So in most adult leagues, you're not allowed to slide tackle. So my brother's shoulder to shoulder with this guy. I'm kind of trailing so I can see everything that's happening. And the guy's foot clips Brent. Okay. And he falls in front of the guy because he got tripped. So he goes in front of him. And then he falls in front of the guy, and then the guy trips over Brent. So the guy, Brent's like, I got tripped. The other guy thinks he got slide tackled.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
Both think they got fouled. In reality, both was an accident. It should have been a foul on the other guy. So they go down. The ref blows the whistle and goes to give Brent a yellow card for sliding. And Brent's like, what? He tripped me. And at that moment, this other guy's a hothead and thinks, how dare you slide tackle me? Yeah. And he tries to take a punch in the back of Brent's head.
What?
Which is, I mean, it's like criminal, you know? It just so happened that right as he swung, Brent is going, what? And then Brent slaps the ground and like leans forward, slapping the ground. Like, how am I getting a yellow card?
Uh-huh.
The guy whiffs the swing because Brent
bent down at the right time,
ducked out his head. So when that happens, I sprint over and I just dive and I hit this other guy with a forearm shiver. It knocks him flat, right?
Nice.
And then I don't remember what I said. I said something to him. And then the ref sees this is all behind Brent. So then the ref pulls out a red card and he's like, a red? What did I do?
Yeah, right.
And then the guy's like, behind you. And then he sees another yellow that I got a yellow too. And Brent's like, what is going on?
Right.
And I told him, I was like, nothing. Don't worry about it. He got a red card. Let's just finish the game. And then, because I know him, and I know if he knows that this guy swung at him, there's going to be an issue.
Right.
So I'm like, let's just play the game. We're up a man now. So someone on our team is an idiot, and he goes, he took a swing at the back of your head, man. And Brent goes, he did what? Starts chasing this guy around the field. Like it's like an indoor field that they have so you can play in the winter in the East Coast.
Okay.
So it's not like walls like normal indoor soccer. It's like a regular field, but inside a gigantic warehouse. So he's chasing him around the perimeter like a Benny Hill sketch or something. And the ref's like, the game is forfeited if you don't both leave in the next, however long. Finally, I blocked Brent off. I was like, please stop this. This is idiotic. And then, I got to be a hero for tackling the guy. Then we find out after the game, the guy's a Fairfax County cop.
What? Did he approach you guys and threaten you or something?
No. I think he apologized to Brent the next week or something like that. Not that night, but the next week. They ended up playing on the same team later. And Brent's like, yeah, he's really cool.
Right. Of course. That sounds awesome. My brother didn't stick up for shit.
No.
Nothing.
Yeah, I don't know if he stuck up for me as much, because he wanted to stick up for me or just because he wanted violence. But
I mean, sounds like an excuse for violence. Yeah. I mean, if you're punching somebody in the nose over the makeup thing.
Yeah.
I mean, a little extreme.
I mean, dude, I'm telling you, seeing a kid with makeup and blood running down his hands and face, it's crazy.
Right.
You ready to play Rank Them?
I wished I'd punched this dude on the bus once who sneezed on me. I still think about it to this day. Like, why didn't I punch him? I was going to another friend's house, and this dude named Creighton turns around, sneezes on me, and I should have punched. But I didn't know where I was going. Like, had I had to get off the bus, then I would not know how to get home. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Before phones, yada yada yada.
Yeah, I can't believe you didn't punch that guy.
Having said that, I can't believe I didn't punch that guy. Karate chop him, something.
You should have just punched him.
I should have just punched him. Absolutely. There are a few regrets in my life, and most of them are about people that I did not punch.
Really? Who else?
I mean, shoot, man. Like when I came home for Christmas, like 15 years ago, I hadn't seen my brother in a couple of years, and he just he just kept on flicking me in the ear, and he just would walk by and flick me in the ear just like so hard. And then he came out. None of this was provoked. And I was trying to have a conversation like, hey, how have things been going with my parents who I haven't seen in like a year?
You don't flick the hammer, ladies and gentlemen.
And then he grabs a wet towel and whips me in the back of the head. And it's
What?
like, well, we have to fight now. We have to fight. Sorry. That's just how it is. You flick me that many times in the ear, it just nails me, like just snap in the back of the head. It's like, so we're just gonna go in the backyard in this kind of Zen garden that my parents have. It's not a big yard.
Yeah.
It's
And you fought.
yeah. That's
How
my
long
brother.
ago was
That's
this?
different. I mean, my brothers, I would walk up whenever I had a friend over, I'd make it a point to like walk up and hit him as hard as I could in the balls. He was 5 years older than me.
How long ago did you fight your brother, though, in the yard?
Probably 15 years ago.
Okay, so like early 30s?
Sure. Yeah. Just fought in the yard.
Whatever you got to do. I can't think of anyone.
It's not my
I
first
wish I
instinct
punched.
to punch somebody. It's just not. Like,
That's good. That's a healthy thing then.
people be, hey, why didn't you punch him? It's like, because I didn't really even think of it. It was
why would I punch someone?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
still.
you don't punch people. Hey, listeners, don't punch people. Talk it out or just walk away.
Coming from Big Dog and the Hammer.
It's Bulldog, but thank you.
Yeah.
You ready to play Rank Them?
Yeah.
Rank Them is a game where I give you 3 attributes for a person who is perfect for you in every way except for this defining characteristic. So this is the same person, different characteristic. You have to rank them. Tonight's Rank Them is courtesy of the funniest TV show in history, Baggage, starring Jerry Springer. It's a dating show that he hosts where people list their baggage, and that's how you decide who you're dating. I'm going to give you 3 things from Baggage. Ready?
Okay. Yep.
1, frequently attends UFO conferences. This is 20 major conferences a year. 15 of them require travel. You are going with her.
With the kids?
I don't know. That's up to you.
That's a huge difference. Travel with and without
with
the
kids.
but...
Yes, with the kids.
All right, fine. With the kids. Okay, that's brutal.
Number 2, checks the stove 400 times a day. No exaggeration. And you'll have to fill in for her too. It's just constant stove checking.
Okay. All right. Just
This
super
is
OCD shit. Yeah.
I thought this was such an exaggeration, and when the guy explained it, he was like, "No, I check. I thought always look. I always."
I thought that was an exaggeration too, and then I was in like a therapy group. This dude was talking about like how crazy his OCD was, and usually when I'd meet people like that, it was never stuff that you had heard of. You know, the washing the hands, the washing the dishes. It was never. That all seemed like just like low hanging fruit that was easy for like a TV viewer to understand. And so when people would talk about locking the door or the stove, I didn't believe it. But this dude was like, yeah, I check the stove like 500 times a day.
Jesus.
And he was not kidding. And he would break down like, he'd be like, here was 5 minutes of my day today. Just one 5 minute. And then it'd be like, I check it when I go out of the room, and then I'm coming back in and I check it and I check it again. And then I'm going to make something to make sure that it lights. So I'm going to make an egg that I'm probably not even going to eat. And then I'm going to turn it off. And then while the egg's cooling, I'm going to check it at least 2 or 3 more times, so on and so forth. Then check it at least 10 times before I leave the house. Like, it was just, Jesus Christ. It's miserable.
You know exactly how serious this is. Way more than I even know. Number 3 has a collection that is going to be prominently displayed in your house of 75 porcelain hands. 75 porcelain hands.
I've got it already.
75. One of the things with that one is it matters how big the place is.
Okay. I'm just assuming that my house.
If you're in an apartment, 75 of anything, Jesus Christ. All
but
right,
it's
so
a
how do
home,
you rank them?
right? So I would think that like it could be proportional. Like if it's 25 porcelain hands at a studio apartment, which is a ton, then it's
No, it's
100
the
in a
number is
house.
75. It
Okay,
can
all
be
right,
where you live.
all right.
You got what, 4 bedroom house? Is that what it is?
Mm. So here it is. It's got a
So you
caveat
still have
though.
at least 10 hands per room.
The UFO would easily be my favorite of those if it was all local conventions.
You're going to be traveling for a significant number. I Googled the top 20 UFO conferences. I'm getting McMinnville, Oregon, Pine Bush, New York, Joshua Tree. That would be amazing. Something in Arizona is the International UFO Congress. And then there's one in Roswell, obviously. It doesn't
So a whole
list
lot
the
of traveling.
others.
That
Yeah.
makes it the
And not to
worst.
places that you want to. It's not like, hey, we're going to Vienna.
Right. I mean,
You're
the
not.
thing is, this answer has nothing to do. I mean, I have to put it last.
You're
It's my
not going to
least
Key
favorite because that's
West.
only because of the travel.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with the UFOs. No, whatever. I mean, I don't see why I have to go with you every time, but whatever.
Okay.
So that would be my least favorite.
What if you have to go to
Then
10 of the 20? Let's do that. You have to go to 10 of the 20.
10 of the 20, and they're all fly. I guess I'd put it second place, and the stove would be bottom, the
Mm-hmm.
worst, and
Mm-hmm.
porcelain hands is like, all right. I mean, that's really dumb. That's stupid. But like, my grandmother had a whole thing of like Hummels.
Did she?
Yeah, man. Like, there's just little figurines everywhere
They
all
went
over the
away,
place.
man.
Just like
The-
you feel like they're seasonal. It's somebody who keeps like tinsel up year round. It's that kind of stuff.
yeah, there was a time, man. So when I did an orchestra tour of Western Europe my senior year of high school, and my friend Brian was a good friend of mine. We were roommates for the trip, and his mom sent him on a Hummel mission.
Yeah, she
And
did.
there was like 4 of them that he needed to get. He got all but Boy with Umbrella. If you guys want to Google Boy with Umbrella,
Uh
oh,
huh.
it's beautiful. I've seen it at a couple stores, like antique stores in the last couple of years, and I'm just thinking, man, Brian's mom would love this. But anyway, we're like 2 17-year-olds wandering around Western Europe, going into Hummel stores for.
That's right. That's right. Just slaying the ladies. That's what you're doing.
It's like, what do you want to do? We should probably go Hummel shopping. All
That's
right.
right. What do you think we're gonna do? What do you think we came here for? We're gonna get some Hummels. That's what we're doing.
I came here for 2 things: to kick ass and collect Hummels, and I'm all that ass. I go, okay. The UFO conference thing. Okay, with all 3 of these, you just have to be ready to say to everyone, "Yeah, she's crazy, but right? All these are pretty crazy, right?" If it was just porcelain figures, whatever. All porcelain hands. If she's not an artist who likes, drawing still life and stuff, or what's all the hands for?
Mm.
You
I
know,
mean, I told you about my ex who did a picture of herself naked, and she would always say it was like her hands were in front of her breast, and she took a picture of herself like that and hung it up on the wall, and people would be like, "Oh, this is called your hands," but it was really just her tits. It was so embarrassing how transparent like her bullshit was. It's like
right?
you took a picture of your tits, but your hands are just in front of them, but you're calling it your hands. All right, come on. Stop jerking us around, okay? We know what it is. Everybody's fine with it.
What a farce! What a
Yes.
farce! Um, let's see. I would, yeah, for me, okay. The stove thing, I think might.
It's the most miserable one.
First, I thought it was gonna be number 2, but then I'm like, this is omnipresent. You know,
It's really sad
I
because that's
start
not
to,
it. If they've got a stove thing, that is the tip of the iceberg.
Which way did you go again? You went hands, stove, UFO.
Just because the travel. If the travel changes,
travel.
even if I have to go to a convention every weekend, but it's local, I would put that number one. No, I'd still go hands, UFO, stove is going to be at the bottom every time.
I'm tempted to go UFO 1 because I'm like, it's not omnipresent, but it virtually is. If you're always traveling for something and you got to go be like, oh, yeah, oh, there was a thing in the sky, wasn't it? Yeah. Couldn't have been a weather balloon, could it? Yeah, no. No way it was a recon plane just doing a test mission when it's possible, right? Oh yeah, I know the guy down the street from you. Yeah, he saw one too. Yeah, I know. And it's weird that 90% of UFO sightings are in the United States and within 100 miles of an Air Force base. Isn't that strange, huh? Okay. I'll go. I gotta go porcelain hands. No, God, it's awful though. I'll do porcelain hands number 1.
Yeah,
it's so creepy.
That's the only reasonable answer. Yeah,
it's so creepy. I'm gonna go UFO number 2, just because the stove thing is. It just seems, 400 times. That's 25 times an hour if you're awake 16 hours.
Yeah,
that's nearly every 2 minutes. That means you're sitting down watching a movie and say, "I'm gonna go check the stove." Every couple, let me check. So just check the stove one time. Did you touch the stove? Did you turn it on just now? On your last time over there, did you turn it on? You didn't? Then why are you checking? Why are you checking? No, I just need to check it. I just need to make sure I didn't leave it on. Leave it on when? You haven't used it in a month. When?
Yeah, logic's not going to work on this. Yeah.
So that's got to be number 3. And then UFO conference, number 2. You just have to. Yeah, it's not much crazier than
but it's
LA
not a
people
behavior.
It's
easily the first one because it's not a behavior.
Astrology and sage. What's that?
Yeah, it's not a behavior, man. It's just like something that you will not.
It's an interest.
Yeah, after you've seen a picture that's hanging on your wall, after you've seen it 50 times, you're not still looking at it. It's basically it's just faded into the background. And that'd be the same thing. You may knock one over every once in a while, but you're not going to think about it.
But I'm all right. My house, right? 3-bedroom house, right? 2 of them are offices because we don't have extra people here. Yeah. So let's there's about, not counting bathrooms, 7-ish rooms in the house. A lot of it's wide open, so it's hard to say what's a room, what's not.
All right.
Yeah. So let's just say roughly 10 per room. So there's 10 in this office.
Whatever.
Oh, good Lord.
You just use them as bookends. Like, whatever.
They're porcelain. All right, fine. It's going to be number 1 just because it's not as bad as the others. It's awful, though. All right. You got anything you want to promote?
Nah, man. I had to cancel everything because I was so sick. I canceled all my shows.
Well, if we got any Canadians listening, I'm going to be in Montreal. Not doing a long run like I did a lot of last year. This is going to just be March 19th through the 21st in Montreal, Canada. One of my favorite clubs anywhere. With
the old Comedy Nest?
Yeah, the Comedy Nest. Oh, the nicest people run that club and work at that club. It's such a treat every time. Yeah, what a great city.
Yeah, they're great people.
And yeah, I got to start booking some more stuff in the next couple weeks. Yeah, that's in. Yeah, so yeah, you can watch my last special live from DC on my website, ryanconnercomedy.com. You can get my book, The Party, which is about what's happening in the United States currently, except about 30 years from now. What happens next? If what's currently happening is successful, what happens next? But it's a comedy. I guess that's enough, right? Bye.
Just a couple of guys palling around, coming out of your speakers, a beautiful sound. They debate, berate, and have a laugh or two. Conner v. Cobb, for me and for you. Nick. Nick and Ryan. The Scoundrels of the Hour.